Okay. Lovely. Okay. Now I'm live. I was looking at it, I was like, interesting. But seems like we are live right now. And let's get straight into it. I just want to double check with you guys. Is everybody, you can see what's going on and you can hear me well. Just double checking those little essential bits. Okay. Lovely. Okay. So appreciate it, Dork. I love you, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, 100%. It's going to be on for a while. I'm planning maybe 2-3 hours tonight, hopefully. And then just get on with the basics. Mr. Garuk. So map borders that are landlocked, normally from my point, from what I've done, is what you can do is you can model in Blender. You can go into Blender and you can model a something, what's it called? Like a mountain. And you can place that mountain, just make sure that it is a low poly count. You place that mountain inside of Enfusion, and then you've got mountains or you've got a flat plane that extends. So that is one way of countering landlocked maps. Other ways that people counter it is just place, like, borders on the edges, or like tree borders on the edges of your map. And yeah, but when it comes to landlocked, Armor Reforger isn't the best. Not like it's not the same as Arma 3, where you can have like extended land into infinity. But yeah, any other questions? Just pop them in the chat. Currently, I've just got one screen. I've got a whole new, like, the setup is completely changed. So I've got things still moving, still being moved down from England. So just I'm gonna alt tab every now and then and just check up on you guys. But first of all, let's go into QGIS and get this started. So the map that I'm gonna make it's a rather big map, actually. So it is going to keep us busy for quite a while. So that is very exciting stuff. I'm just making this a Greek island. This is the island right here. Please let me know if you guys can see. Yes, you should be able to see. So this is the Greek island. And so I've already got all the, the layouts, the satmap and the height map, but I will go through with you guys on this one again. So you click on this little button and it brings up this game terrain tools. Now, obviously, you'll have a white screen. To get a satmap, what you want to do is go to satmap, add a satmap, and that will give you a satmap. Here you can change the different types of satmaps that you would like. So ArcGIS, Bing, and Google. So that is, I normally use either ArcGIS or Google. In this case, what I would do is I'd zoom in and I would check what the quality is of, the map. the satmap that I'll be getting. So comparing it to ArcGIS, it is a little bit better. However, with ArcGIS, I can also see where there are green areas, where there is not mountains, but like these very hilly parts. Then you've got also these foresty areas. So it really depends on what type of sat map you'd like to go with. I'm going to go with the Google. So as we can see also, it's very populated, and there are a lot of different buildings to what we have in Enfusion. Let me just double check on you guys. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this map and just transform it into a Enfusion-like map. So an Everon, not an Everon 2.0, but use some of the prefabs from Enfusion just to make our life a little bit easier and not to go in and make each and every custom building, because that would take ages. And if I I don't have the time for that. I wish I did, but no, that would take me years upon years. Anyways, guys, I've babbled enough. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add a sat map. Make sure that your export sat map is selected. You saved this project into a file, like, let me open up this real quick for you guys, like this, for example, right there. So you've got your drive, Greece, and or your map, and then inside of here, there you will find all your GTT exports when you export from here. So I've got the height map and the sat map, and I'll show you guys how to do that again. What you do is add satmap, export satmap, export, right? Bam, wait for it to finish. Really depends on how big your area, selected area is. Mine was a 20 by 20. And that would take a while. Next up, what we've got is we've got the height map. So once you unselect, okay, pardon me. So you've got your sat map. Once you've exported your sat map, you uncheck sat map, because that's something that some people struggle with. Is when you've finished exporting something, make sure you unselect it, move to the next one, and click on export. Everything else, masks should be unchecked. Enfusion doesn't support those. Well, from QGIS. And then roads, make sure these are also unchecked. So we've got our height map, and that's the only one that's checked, export. Okay. You'll click this little download button, right? Now I've got this, so I'm just quickly gonna select this area. Okay. There we go. So it's just a rough one, and you will say STRM because that's the only option. 4K is good enough. Download. What you'll see then is either it will start downloading the height map, or you'll get this little download, this little thing right here. Download from HTTPS and so on and so forth. That's the NASA website. So you're going to copy this, and then you're going to go in here, paste it in here, and go like so. And it will pop up with a little, like, what's your username, what's your password. You put your username, you put your password, and it will start downloading this height map. Yeah. So that is pretty cool. Once you've got it downloaded, you pull it up, you double click, like, let me double check. You open it up like so, and you go into your QGIS, you drag and drop like so, Voila. You're going to then select it on the left-hand side like so. Press F2 and call it GTT underscore heightmap. Now, I know much of these things, a lot of you may know exactly what I'm doing here, and this might be a little bit like boring, but I'm just going through it again, just for those that are new to making maps, and yeah, and answering all those questions about why is my export not working. So what you'll have is people go like so, and they accidentally, when once loading up, they'll have this exported, and they'll go like, okay, cool, export, and they'll get this mark. What's the mask? And this is it. So you just uncheck that, do it again, and it'll give you your exported mask. Anyways, once you've renamed it to GTT height maps, you're gonna then click on export. Now what this will do is it will export right there. And we're just waiting for it real quick. Here we go. And what I'm also going to do is, now that I've done the height map, we have now, oh my goodness, sorry. Now we know that the minimum height is -24 and the maximum height is 574. What you also can do is, if it's an island map, you uncheck lower terrain to 0 meters. What this will do is everywhere where it's under sea, it will be this, the ocean will be over that area. Wherever, obviously, wherever there's land, there will be land. Wherever there's sea, there will be sea. But anyways, I'm quickly going to do the exact same for the satmap as I just redid the height map. So I'm going to go here and check, double check everything's unchecked. Export height, export satmap, and click export. Now it will zoom you in very closely to the satmap, and we will just give this a bit of time to export. Now in this time, I'm going to open up the chat, and then you guys can ask me questions and so on and so forth. So it is going to take a little while, as it is a 20 by 20. So any questions, anything like that, just let me know, and I'm there with you, and I can explain. Is there a way to take this to the side? Oh, yes, I can. Oh my word, that's perfect. Okay, mic is a little bit quiet, okay? And just keep me updated, Mr. Beanos. I just increased the volume a tad bit. Let's see if this works, and I'll speak a little bit louder as well. Okay, let's see. I do also need to have some background music playing at some point, but we'll figure that out tomorrow when there's another stream. I'll figure that out tomorrow. Let me just double check this. Taco, my man, how you doing? Okay. Okay, we're just double checking all these things. Interesting why it looks like that. I think in that case, it looks a little bit dodgy. So I'm gonna do it in ArcGIS. This looks a lot better though as well. Okay. Export. It's a lot quicker as well. Damn, look at that. So it also, yeah, it looks like it depends what satmap you pick on the export speed that you'll get. Where is my thingy? There it is. Fantastic. So any questions, guys? Anything that you would like to be answered? I'm gonna have the chat somewhere up here, and then just alt tab to it every now and then, so that we can get some questions answered. And yeah. Okay, so here we can see export is done. We've got our satmap and we've got our height map. Now, keep in mind these max and minimum values. Now, let's open up. Oh, no, leave you there. Fantastic. Okay. Let me see if I can move my mic a little bit closer. Let me know if it changes anything. And okie dokie. Getting tools up and running. Starting an entirely new project. Add new, create a new project. We're going to call this Discord overlay. It's on max. It's on max volume. So that's unfortunate. Let's see. Let's see if it works. Just keep me updated. I just moved my mic a little bit closer. It was a little bit too far away. I do have a new setup here, so I'm playing around with like everything. Hold on. Ooh. Add a filter. Noise suppression. I've got a noise suppression filter. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to play with this tomorrow. And then we get this, then we get all of this sorted. And then we get the mic volume sorted tomorrow. But yeah, so what we're going to call this is we're going to call it freaking, I didn't think of a name. An island map. An island map. Lovely. Location. Now, I personally, I'm going to change this location. And I'm going to put it in my Seagate in Greece map island. Keep everything together. And if it breaks, then I'll just use the normal thing. But anyways, create. And now we're loading into Enfusion. So if you're new to Enfusion, this might be a little bit scary, but don't worry. And this is also scary, but just to get rid of it, it's easy. And now you don't have to be afraid anymore because it's gone. Anyways, world editor, we're going to open up that. And then you'll have a gray screen. Default, you'll have your world settings. Just down here, object properties, you're going to open that up. And I'm going to make this bigger. And you're going to see that your max bounds, min bounds, and so on and so forth. All these things will be set once we put in the terrain. And here's the important things: your sky presets, your planets, your clouds, more clouds, ocean, more oceans, water, shore, and lens flare. First things first, what we're going to do is we're going to create a terrain. So up here, we're just going to click create terrain. Go into terrain, generic terrain entity, drag and drop. Now, it's important to note that to keep this meters right here, this is what you want to go and set your map if you're doing a 20 by 20. I'll show you why it's not just 20,000, but it's 20,224. So you've dragged in your map entity. What you're going to do then is you're going to right click down, oopsies, right click, create new terrain. Oh, you're going to save first, my bad. So save, so Control S, save new world. Not in worlds, but in your island map project. So in your projects folder. Some of you may know this, some of you may not. And you're going to name the file don't worry too much if you don't have a name for your project yet. Really, you can, once you upload it to the workshop, that's when a name really counts. But all of this is just so that you know it's an island map and so on and so forth. For me, anyways, we're gonna go create the terrain, and this is where things get important. You'll have your height scale, which is your available height. So you'll see that the lowest that your map can be is -213, and the highest it can be is oh my word, 1,834.63. If you want to increase this, right? Let's say, for example, you're making a map in the Alps and you want to have massive 4,000 high peaks and so on and so forth. Well, you're just going to go here and increase that. Now, the maps, the mountains in the Alps, they are very high. They're about like 4,000 plus. So leaving it, like giving it some room, I'd say give it like 5,000 and then load it in. So I'll show you how to load it in a second. What you're going to do is your terrain size as well. So here, 128 by 128 is equal to a 0.256 by 0.256 kilometer map. We have a 20 by 20. So we want to go and click the up arrow and see it increases right there. So you want to go click and spam it. Spam that button. Unless you know exactly what you want. And for me, that is right there. So now you can see that this 20 by 20 is actually 20.224. Exactly what this is, 20.224. And that is how you want to place your maps, right? If you are making a, like, let's put in 5,000 in here. If you're making a 10 by 10, you're going to do it not 10,000 by 10,000. You're going to do 10,000 freaking 24. So you're going to put in here 10,000 24,0, okay? And that's the map size you're going to go for. But for me, it's big. So it's 10, 20. So what we've done now is we're going to keep the terrain, the name, we're going to keep that terrain. That is plain and simple terrain. Going to keep this like so. Block size, same. Grid cell size, exactly the same. Height scale, this is increased if you only if you need big mountains. Otherwise, you should be fine. Okay, and then slap that create button. This will create yourself a flat plane with no hills or nothing. Now, what I like to do is I like to go up before I do anything else, before I forget about it, because this is one of the most important things that you need to do before you start placing things down. Note, I want to like exclamation marks. Make sure that your coordinates go here. Click this back button is 0, 0, 0. Very important, guys. Please don't forget that. Otherwise, your game modes and everything is just going to get messed up. And moving it later down the road is a freaking pain. It's not nice. Okay, now we'll move on to the terrain tool. So just go up here, terrain tool. The shortcut is Control T. And let's just double check on you guys. Yo, Mr. Jove, how you doing? So what I'd recommend, yo, what's up, Mr. Vamish? Vamsy? So Taco, what I would recommend is if you're making a fictional world, right? Let's pull up this real quick, right? So this, I'm not gonna, this is, for me, this is gonna be a fictional map. Ain't no way I'm gonna be placing these many houses in such a close proximity to each other. I think having 2 or 3 or maybe 4 big cities or towns, but having this much clutter will definitely affect the performance. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to be making this a fictional map. So how you do that is, I mean, you just you take some inspiration from, I don't know, islands that you personally like, and also take some little bit of a creative flair. You know that if you want to match the roads with the roads, what you do is you can say, okay, cool. Let's take, for example, like this area right here. Okay, cool. I don't want to match exactly what happens here, but I can see that's a river. So I'm going to use this area and I'm going to place a few trees right there. Okay. And I'm going to go and I'm going to make this a little farmhouse area. This also a tree. And so we're going to make these trees. And okay, so this could be like a little fishing area, like a little, if you guys are hearing noises in the background, I do apologize. It's my fan going crazy. I've got to replace it. But anyways, so you take some little bit of creative flair, yeah? And you just go with the flow. You just go with the flow. You use freaking, and then once you've done all the texturing, right? You've done some texturing and everything. Then you remake your satmap. So all of this will disappear and it will turn into the colors that you've painted it, right? So if you painted rocks here and a little bit of dirt and like forest leaves and so on and so forth in here, that is what it would change to. And all of this red would turn into the rock that you painted and so on and so forth. But this happens at the very end. This is like once you're ready to release your map, like properly, then you do this map thing. I really hope I made sense there. If I didn't, just let me know. Hey, yo, Mr. Jove. Yeah, honestly, it's a beautiful island. Really do think it's a good one to pick. Goodness gracious me. Just give me 1 second. I just want to check this fan out. Okay. Import. So what you're now going to do is now we're going to import the satmap, okay, and height map. So first of all, we're going to click import height map, click the 3 dots, go to island map or GTT export, and then GTT underscore height map. Open. You'll see that it's 4K, exactly what we chose in QGIS. And if you need to, you can resample the heights. So the lowest source height is -24. So you just type in -24, and the highest source is 574, and you'll type in 574. But we don't have to do that. Nice thing about Enfusion, it's just automatically decides how high it is because of the colors of the height map. So we're going to say import. This action cannot be undone. That's okay. Completely fine. Don't worry about it. There we go. Normal map. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Now, got a nice big map. Now, if you're still struggling with the invisible wall, like you can go, if we make this a little bit bigger, scroll here, and you go over here. So you start down. So you right down here. If you start down here and go, you're sometimes stuck at a wall around this area. Control save. Just make your save. And just give it a second. It's thinking. It's thinking. Okay. There we go. I'm going to close down. And close that down. And that should be good. Come on. Okay. I'm just quickly going to close down. So, it sensed I was going to shut it down. Forcefully shut it down. And it pulled itself together. Okay. So now what you're going to do is we're just going to, so we saved the terrain. Now it's building the terrain textures. Just let this do its thing. It really depends on how big your map is. This may take quite a long time, or it may take quite a fast. It might be quite fast. Also, it also depends on your hardware, how strong your PC is or laptop is. So yeah. So we're just giving this a little second. Okay. No, why is that? Okay. Lovely. Okay. So next up, what we're going to do is we are going to import the satellite map. So we're going to go and click satellite map, open it up, right? Find it in your file explorer, open it up. It will be exactly the same size as the terrain. And all of these are stay exactly the same, except in linear color space, right? Now, one thing that you could do is if you uncheck render roads. Now, let's say, for example, you're making a very apocalyptic style map and you don't want, you want your grass to grow through the roads, right? If you reload your satmap, the grass under the road disappear because this render roads is selected. If it's unselected, if you reload your satellite map, what will happen is the grass will still grow through, or will still show through the road. So for me, I'm gonna leave this on because I don't want any like grass showing through my roads. But another important thing is in linear color space. In linear color space, just darkens the map a little bit. If it's selected, it's very bright. Your grass is like white. So select that. Wait for the process. Whoopsies. Wait for the process to finish. And I've got a interesting looking map here. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so clearly it didn't load. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go open up QGIS, and I closed it, which wasn't very smart. But it's okay. It still has the red line, and that is what we want. So we are going to just make sure everything's unselected, and going to add the satmap and export the satmap. Okay, let's see if it works. Hopefully it does work. Just give it a second. While my terrain files build as well. This might take a while. Let me double check. So guys, any questions, please feel free to ask them, send them in. And while we wait for the satmap to generate and the terrain files to build, I'll just answer some questions if you have any. Okay. So if you're thinking about building maps, like island maps, a great place to go searching for them is definitely the south of Greece, right? So you've got smaller maps like this, And even if you're going to go more fictional, like, for example, like Taco would go, you would load up this map and you would build out your little cities and you would start imagining it. So take your map, take this map, the sat map that you've just got, put it into a like Photoshop or GIMP or whatever you use. And what you're going to do is you're going to start drawing out little towns on here, little roads where you think the roads will be, where another little town would be, and so on and so forth. And then you start thinking about, is this going to be a GM map or is this going to be a conflict map? How am I, for what am I going to be, for what purpose will this map be used? If it's a conflict, then you'll just go, okay, so here's going to be a point, there's going to be a point, there's going to be a point, and start sketching it out, and start drawing it out. Where is the most likely points of contact? So in between bases, we're going to place a little point here, evenly spread, so you know people are going to fight a lot around the middle, and so on and so forth. But it's just things to take into account. I mean, it's all part of the level design, because you're designing an experience for players. So that is my import done, which is good. And we can see the exporting is going on. So yes, the south of Greece or southeast of Greece, perfect. This area, more islands would be to the west of this little country. I think it's still Greece, this. And then Serbia, I think, and Croatia, or I'm not too sure. But this little patch of islands over here, and these ones over here, pretty cool to make any, to make some maps from. The Mediterranean is pretty cool. Even this little island here. This is this could be a cool little deathmatch place. More islands would be Japan. There's a lot over here. So you can go and check them out. Select this island and go crazy. Let your imagination go absolutely insane. Because that's the fun thing about making a map, is you've got, some people think, because, and I also, to be fair, what on earth is this? To be fair, I also, just when I started doing maps, I was like, okay, I've got to build out this because it's on the map, I've got to build out the roads and the houses, place the houses exactly like they should be. But no, it's your map. It's your imagination. You decide what needs to go where and how things need to be placed. If you don't like a road being in a certain area, you don't have to build that road. I mean, no one's going to know. At the end of the day, you're going to reload your satmap, and your satmap's going to be whatever you painted it to be, So don't worry too much about, unless you want to go for like freaking accurate stuff. If you don't want to be as accurate, don't bind yourself too much to where houses are really placed, if that makes any sense. Anyways, so yeah, the Japan islands, perfect. You've got more over here as well, more islands on South Korea, and then the Philippine areas. That is also pretty cool areas. And then you've got these little spots. You've got spots of islands in between continents, like something like this, which is just somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, but it's got an airfield and could make for, and it's got mountains and stuff like that. So definitely, if you're making islands, go and have a look. Go and have a look about some of these things in the middle of the ocean, like this, for example. This is much bigger than 32 by 32 though. But yeah, let me just double check on you guys. Mr. Just, Ed. Freaking fantastic, man. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Oh, yeah. No, 100%. Building a map is definitely meditation, especially once you start painting and freaking placing and once you fully get into building the map and placing things down and, you know, just you in that world, it's freaking, it's therapy. I would do it for a freaking living. It's amazing. It really is. But yeah, so that is island maps for you guys. Go and check them out. Enfusion handles islands perfectly, absolutely perfectly. Landlocked is a little bit more difficult, but that's okay. Yeah, okay, cool. So we're almost done. I think it goes up to 4, the exporting. So we're almost done there. Just check this. Let me see. Let's see what happens. I think it's gonna work because it hasn't exported yet. Okay, so I'm just gonna take you guys through. Let's see, what can I take you guys through? Maybe all these little thingies right here, right? While we wait for QGIS to make up its mind of what it's gonna do. Oh, there it is, 40%. I'll be taking you guys through these. So basics, this one and this one, right? If you place something down, let's say, for example, you place down a, oh, done. So basic controls, you know, if you move scroll wheel up and down, increases and decreases your speed. Q and, what is it? Q and Z is up and down. So Q is up, Z is down, WASD, moving it around if you hold down right click on your mouse, okay? So I'm just quickly gonna go and place houses. Just one house, doesn't have to be, you know, anything fancy. Now we haven't set up world yet. I just want to do the terrain first before I do the world. So if we select this, right, and we press W, right, we bring up this little gizmo, okay? So this little gizmo allows you to move around. If you select this little green box, it moves it around only on the X and the Z axis. So you can't move it up and down. It only moves to the side, front to back, left to right, right? If you select this blue little one, it moves it around the X and the Y axis, which moves it up to the left, up and down, right? And then if you select this little red button, it moves it to the left, to the right, up and down, but it can't move it to the front that way. Okay. Cool little thing is if you want to, let's say, for example, you placed it, right? You started sculpting around and, you know, and you've got your house that is like up like this. You can move it down, or can right click and snap to terrain, snap to ground, right? Snap them to ground. Easy peasy. And then if it's a little bit flushed like that, you can just bring it up just a bit, just a tiny bit. So how this will work is if you press E, you rotate along axes, right? If you press R, you scale, right? I personally don't use scale too much unless it's with rocks or... One sec. Unless it's rocks or bushes or things like that. So we're gonna press W to bring up this little gizmo. What we're then gonna do is I'm gonna take you through what this means. X, so the little shortcut is X, right? You can see it switches at the top. So this is world placement, right? If I rotate this like so and press W, you'll see it keeps in line with the world, right? This little world thing, top, front, right. You know, if I press X, it switches it up to be, you know, aligned with the house or with any object. This could be a bush, this could be a car, this could be literally anything, but it aligns it with how the house or the object is orientated. So if I move it like this, right, and I press W, it's aligned. If I press X, it is now aligned with how the world is, or where it is in the world. Right. So this is a little cool thing that I do use very often when I place things around a house or when I place things inside a house and so on and so forth. So that is definitely one of the cool things. So then we've got entity select filter. I don't use that. We've got the parent select entities. I don't use that either. We've got the vector tool. Vector tool, pretty simple, makes splines. We'll be going through this when we get our satmap. We've got the bounding volume tool, which is empty. Interesting. Very interesting. We've got our terrain tool. We've just covered this. Our height map and satellite map. Export height map. So let's say, for example, you want to export to Blender and make some changes. Export it to, or not export to Blender, pardon me. Export to export it to oh my word, why can I not think? GIMP or Photoshop, so that you can make some changes. Then you just click this, right? You can have either the base or the modified version. So if you're sculpted, you've got a modified version, you've got the base, that is the one that you imported at the very start. No, I have never used these ones. Yeah, I haven't used these ones. Import satellite map, pretty simple. We've just done that one. Rebuild terrain materials. I haven't done that one either. Let's see. Yeah, so, and then you've got sculpt, paint, and info and diags. All of these things will be covered during this series and during these live streams. Honestly, after this, you'll understand most of these things. We've got our Navmesh tool used for AI navigation. It is a cool, pretty cool thing. It's like, it's got that little navigation arrow, which is used for the AI, which is pretty cool. Anyways, road network tool. I have never touched this road network tool. This weather editor I do use this quite often when making my Ukraine map. Is what I find is if you've got light showing from the back, it's much easier to build a map in the early morning, like in real life. So in real life, you've got light, sunlight, or whatever shining in from your back onto your monitor. I personally find it a lot easier to build a map than in the early mornings. Whereas if it's evening, I'd switch it to daylight to build it during the daylight in the game. But I'll show you guys. Actually, I don't think I'll be able to show you guys, but you'll see me switch from like, early morning to probably midday, late afternoon in this weather editor, just to compensate for the amount of light shining on my screen. That is a little tip for you guys. Then we've got the ruler tool. The ruler tool is insane if you want to start making your own assets, right? So you select it, left and then right. Not left and then right. Left click and then left click. And it will show you 23 meters and then voila. And then you can go around and again, right? So that will show you everything you need to know about the length of things. And then we've got the coordinate tool. I haven't personally used that one. We've got the object brush tool, which we will be using very often. Then we've got the snapping tool. Haven't used that one, and I don't know why it's called. Why it's a cat. Anyways, hey man, this thing is taking a long time. Then we've got the object selection brush. This one also, it'll be used, but it won't be used as often. Then we've got this one. Yeah. Oh my word, send items to Blender. Okay, we will be investigating this. Send terrain to Blender. So we'll be investigating this 100%. I didn't know about this one. Send it to Blender. Maybe go into Blender and do a little bit of sculpting. Bring it back. That could be pretty sick. Destruction. Prefab management. Shapefiles. Now, guys, I know I did a video about bringing in roads. In my personal opinion, building the roads by yourself, like placing them manually instead of importing them, is much better. The reason why I would say this is when you import these roads, the issue is you're importing, you're going to import it and it's going to be off center just by like, I don't know, 3 or 4 meters. Then you're going to have to move each road and it's not going to be, I mean, it's really personal. If you think you want to make maps or not, oh my word, you obviously want to make maps, but pardon me. If you want to make a map and place things manually, do it. If you want to use the shape tools, do that as well. It works. If you're gonna make a fictional area, I'd say place it manually. If you're not gonna make it fictional, try the shape tools, see if it works. A lot of people would say though that placing it manually is a lot more easier. Okay, fantastic. Okay, the export is done. I can stop babbling to you guys now. Import satellite map. Let's select it. Make sure that in linear color space is finished. Okay, fingers crossed. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't work, that's gonna suck. Okay, let's check. What do you guys? Yes, so I would say doing a nav mesh at the end of the project once you're ready to upload it to the workshop. Before you upload it to the workshop, add that nav mesh because you're going to want people to place AI onto your map, and that the AI can see where the buildings are and where the fences are and so on and so forth, that they're not just running into a fence like what's it called, Grand Theft Auto character. Yes, you're correct. The time zones and geolocations are very important. Yes. And then you've got the yes, there is a option to adjust the terrain to the height of the house. Easiest way to do that is did it crash? Uh-oh, it crashed. Okay, let's quickly delete this one. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. It's in. There we go. Okay, so let's just place the house right here, right? So to lift the terrain to the house, right, what we're going to do is we're going to have the house selected, scroll down, is building, that needs to be selected, adjust height map, select that. So now your house will adjust the height map just like a road adjusts the height map. So now you'll find that we can lift it up just a little bit, and you'll see that it's even on all sides. So this is how you will adjust the terrain to the house. And you can have multiple houses like so. It does increase the, it does go up. So if it does increase like that, which is odd and annoying. So if you uncheck that, move them into position. Just move that. So move them into position, and let's say, for example, like so and like so. And you say adjust the height map and adjust the height map. Perfect. Now it's adjusted to height map, and you're ready to rock and roll. Okay. If you want to do painting or sculpting around the houses, that will be challenging, as you won't be able to, sculpt too close. What? But yeah, there we go. Yeah, it is a little bit dodgy. So sculpt around the houses, and then place them in the right place, sculpt around them, and then check this little height map box. But anyways, I hope that helped and answered the question. Fantastic. Yes, I do need a save. That is correct. Yo, Popka, what's going on? How are you doing? Oh, that is interesting. I have never used Unity Hub, to be honest. I'm more of a Unreal Engine guy, but I haven't I haven't heard of this way to do it. Have you? I would like to know if you've tried the Terrain Hub builder. Could definitely be interesting to see some maps come from there. If it works, it could be brilliant. But anyways, guys, so what we've got right here is we've got the map loaded. We've got the satmap loaded, which is perfect. Now, you see this little issue we're having right here, man. I want to see my entire map. I don't want to just see a tiny bit of the map, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into camera and I'm going to increase the relative plane to 30,000. Voila. And now I can see my entire map without having to cut out, without having it to, cut out anything. So just quickly going to go through this map. Check out the cliffs, the heights of the cliffs, and so on and so forth. It really does remind me a lot of, Altus for some reason. This little thing. So even things like this, guys, even if you see small things like this, right? Let your imagination go wild. This could be a freaking point on the map, right? So you can have a point or 2 points there, 1 point in the middle, main base, and then main base or something like that. You just have to work it out. And then what you do is this could be a underground bunker type thing. Just freaking, it could be anything. So that is what's nice about being a map maker, is you really just let your mind go crazy, or your creativity go crazy. Now that we've got the satmap, I'm going to close here and I'm going to save, just in case if I ever need to come back and do anything. So what I'm going to think, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this little island right here. I'm going to map it out, check it out. Check out this one as well. There's a little, interesting, there's a little hole. This could be a volcanic type thing going here. So this is basically what I do when I get into get a new map. Is I go and check out everything, and I go scheming and thinking, where can I place things and what can I do in these situations. But yeah, let's just double check. Making a map. Oh man, hell yeah. So the amount of materials in a building model affects performance. I don't think so. To be honest with you, I don't think so. Keep in mind, I would say, let me just pull up, in that case, let me just quickly pull up one of these and go into, where is it? Here, okay. We're just going to open up its, you'll see in a second what I mean. So I'm going to open this up, right? So what I did is I opened up, went to mesh, selected the material, opened up the material, and selected we want this right there. So I just clicked on the material. Now, keep your textures to what they made, what the developers made them. So if your textures are 4K and the developers textures are 1K, I'd say bring it down to 1K, try and optimize it, because this, obviously this is optimized. I'm not too sure how well 4K would do. Give it a test, honestly. Just give it a test, see if it works, pop it onto a server with a couple of guys, run it, and see whether it affects performance. I personally don't think it will affect performance, but you know, if Bohemia made it 1K, it's probably 1K for a reason. So hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully I answered the question correctly. If I didn't, just let me know. Just going to close this, close that, and close this, right? Fantastic. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is I am going to go and Control S. I'm going to save. It's going to build terrain textures. At the very top here, you're going to see this little building terrain textures. And then we're going to go and set up world. We're going to go do our PPE effects. So we're going to go through this little world terrain preparation. I'm going to share this with you guys in the chat. Fantastic, Mr. Broken Finger. That would be amazing. I'm going to share this with you guys. Oh, it doesn't look like I can. That sucks. I'll keep it. I'll pop it in the description of the. Can I do that? Ah, there we go. Yeah, I can. Gonna pop it into the description as terrain setup doc. Boom. Okay, that should be good with you guys. Should be good to go. Check it out, Mr. Popka. Best way is trial and error, to be honest. If you trial and error and see what works and what doesn't, I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And you just scale down. It's when it comes to Enfusion, trial and error is a big thing. Especially if you're making your own mod, if you're making your own custom assets, definitely test things out, push the boundaries, you know, see what's possible and what's not. Anyways. Yeah, a generic entity that would be able to do this would be insane. Absolutely insane. Appreciate it, Raymond. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you learned a little bit about these things. Hopefully you guys can see the description. I updated the description with this little preparation tool. I always go through this thing just to make sure everything is perfect and set up correctly. So double checking, set our positions to terrain to 0, 0, 0. Yes, terrain is set to 0, 0, 0. Okay. Camera, correct. Sun. Now we're just quickly gonna go through sun, you know, the rest of the stuff. So open up your world, click on your world, and gonna go here, and we're gonna start setting in the sky preset, which is atmosphere. Atmosphere. Like okay, you're gonna get a nice little look-see over there at 1, 2, 3. So it's gonna go sun. And it has to be in this order, guys. If it's not in this order, you're gonna have some strange things happening. Sun, moon, moon, stars. There we go. Sun, moon, stars, atmosphere, sky, vol, clouds, rendering. Sky clouds preset will be clouds volumetric. Clouds volumetric. We are going to go and place ocean material. I think it is ocean island or ocean emat. Yes, ocean emat. There we go. And we are going to place ocean simulation. We're going to go with island sim. Right, cool. So now what we're going to do is going to save. Water, this is going to be bump. Shore simulation, you just search up shore. And you're going to go lens flare. Beautiful. Okay. So now I'm going to double check everything else. Sun, moon, stars, clouds, ocean. Post-process effects, right? So we're going to do our post-process effects. Right-click, add a layer. We're going to say PPE effects. PPE effects. Double-click so that it's highlighted in white. So what this means is anything that we place in this world will be placed inside of this layer, right? Go to create. And we're going to type in PPE, generic world PPP. Oh, okay. Control copy this one right there. Copy, paste it in here. Open this up. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Okay, dokie. So type that in, generic world PPE or PP. Slap that on there. Voila, now we've got rain. And with that, we can go in each of these and change the priority. So double checking the priority on these. So SSR. Do we even have an SSR? Interesting. So we're going to go with, there we go, PPE, drag it under and call it SSR because I cannot see an SSR unless I'm blind. Yeah, so SSR F2 rename to that and perfect. And it's 0, so priority is 0. Okay. save. It just disappeared. There we go. Okay. Okie dokie, let's go. SSR, SSDO, God rays. We've got underwater, HBAO, rain effects, PPAA, heightmap, HDR, SSR. Lovely. Okay, so we've got all our PPE effects. Also, what you can add is it's got some somewhere over here it's explained a few of the. Anyways, never mind. So scrolling down more, we want a environment probe entity. So that is something that we definitely want. So we're going to go here, Control Copy, Control V, drag this in, and we're going to drag this into the default. So double click on the default. Everything that we're going to add in now is going to be default. So just grab your preload manager. There, bam. Sometimes it just doesn't show up for me. Preload manager. Now, all of these ones that I'm dragging in, right, with the .et, these are all already perfectly set up for us by the amazing devs that have done all the hard work. All of these things, all of this. If you just type it into the create as a preload manager, you'd have to add all of these, which sucks. But anyways, lighting underscore default. I'm just gonna go through and add this one too. Camera manager. Now, camera manager is important as it makes the character, it makes it work. It makes everything work with the character. Drag this in as well. Map entity. This is where we will be placing our paper map. Once it's been made, we'll be placing it in there, and the satellite background image will also be placed in there. Generic world PP, we already did that. Fog haze. Fog haze is also a good one. Drag that in. Time weather manager. Essential. Actually, all of these are essential. Projectile sounds. Here in projectile sounds, you can change pretty cool things. I shall show you. So, don't mind any of this. This is fine. Subsonic. How far it can be heard, right? Maximum distance, maximal audible distance of subsonic projectiles. And supersonic. This is where you change how far in your map, how far you want your subsonics and supersonic rounds to be heard, right? Also, in here, you can see the bullet flybys, sonic cracks, and so on and so forth. So for those that want to get into audio and things like that, this is where you want to start playing with, you know, your flybys, your bullet cracks, and so on and so forth. Your projectile sounds manager. This is where you're going to have a lot of fun. If you've got new rounds, this is where you'll place them in. So you'll make your own not your own, but you'll create projectiles over here, like so. Projectile sound manager, place it in, and you'll see that, you know, the top one has file names, the bottom one does not have file names. So you'll add a file name, slap it in there, and then you can place in your own file names like that. Or you can go in here, you can right click, you can duplicate. It's one of these three. You can just duplicate it, and then you can add new files to it, and so on and so forth. Really, this is where the Milsim guys are gonna have a lot of fun. Here, right here. Okay, ambient sounds. Ambient sounds. Well, these give you sounds like crickets and so on and so forth. There we go. Wildlife sounds. Radio broadcast manager. This makes I'm pretty sure it manages radio music broadcasts. Okay. So what's cool about this is where you scroll down. So broadcast ACP. If you want to make your own broadcast that plays over the intercoms or on the little radios, you go in here and you select your own little radio broadcast that you've made. So I don't know. I only know where to put it. You just put it in here. But going about making a radio broadcast, probably the best thing that you could do is click the little button, double click, and start studying how to use the audio editor if you want to start making your own custom messages. So let's say, for example, Milsim guys, if any Milsim guys are in here, you'd go and you'd make your own little Milsim thingy, like broadcast, and you'll bring it into Enfusion. And this is where you will, you know, do all the shenanigans, all the spaghetti, as we would call it in Unreal Engine. You'll do a little bit of spaghetti, and you'll drop it in here, and then your personal broadcast will be playing over the red radios. So that is pretty cool. Okay, let's finish up with this. So forest sync managers. So that is that. Boom, 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 boom. Slap that in there. Destruction manager. Well, it is what it says it is. It allows for destruction. Destruction and MP destruction. So multiplier destruction. MP destruction manager. Environmental probe. Do we have an environmental probe? I'm pretty sure we do. Yes, we do. Sound world base. There we go. And last but not least, sets up a cycle of background music. So you know when you just walk in Everon and you walk for a while, and then there's just like slow music playing in the background. This is where you will be setting that. So again, if you want to change that to your own music, you know, this is where you'll change it. You'll put the music in here. So respawn, spawn, location, game end, and so on and so forth. I'll just put it as music location. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that is everything set up right there. Double checking everything, making sure we haven't missed anything. Okay. What you can do is you can just leave it there so it could be seen in game. So you can just stay there. Okay. So good practice. Close the world editor and reopen the world editor. Let's just double check on you guys. The sun's azimuth. Maybe? Maybe there's a way for the sun's azimuth. The terrain paint mesh. Oof. Yeah, the terrain paint mesh is gonna be fun. Angus, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. 40 days. That's pretty consistent. Well done. AI spawns. There. I'm pretty sure I saw an AI spawner. I'm pretty sure I saw an AI spawner somewhere in these files, in these folders. So I'll check on that one. Mr. Ranger 69. Hell yeah, man. Hey, next time I'll advertise correctly. The Find My Phone. You're getting JIP replication errors. Interesting. So you've got it drift. You've got it uploaded to the workshop, I'm assuming. Right? Or is that just in Enfusion that you're getting these errors? Guys, just make sure. Oh, I did not add the description. Oh my goodness. Pardon me. I have to put in the Discord so that you guys can actually get in the Discord if you have any like questions. Copy. Discord. There we go. Okay, you guys should be able to have the have that up and running. Drifty, if you either send a message in here or just join the Discord and DM me, and then send some screenshots, should be able to assist you with that. Yo, Mr. Dreadnought, how you doing? Alrighty. Okay, so we're just gonna go on with this little. Ooh, okay. Gonna wait for it to do its thing. Okay, so sometimes this happens right here. this little annoying cut where it's just pink, and then that just means that you need to re-import your satellite map. So you do that and you should be fine. Give it a few seconds. Mr. Dreadnought, I appreciate it. And I'm just happy. I'm able to help. Fantastic. Okay. And now we need a Control S. Now it will build the terrain textures. Just give it a second at the very top. Make sure that before you close out of Enfusion, make sure that this little box is like 100% or not there anymore. That means you can safely close down Enfusion without having to worry about your terrain files being compromised. Amsterdam in Reforger would be it would be challenging. It's a big city with a lot of custom buildings, but if you're able to do it, man, I'd be freaking damn. That'd be impressive. Very impressive. I'd personally say just do it. Just do it and make your dreams come true. You never know if you don't try. Besides, that's what I would say. Okay, so you've got some custom buildings for that map, which is good. So now we're just gonna go about sculpting. Fantastic. So again, guys, it's gonna take a while. Depending on your software, how big your map is. One, it's how big your map is, and your hardware. This process will take ages, or it will take just quick second. And specs is a 3060 Ti, a Ryzen 7 8 Ryzen 7 5800X, 32 gigs of RAM. So it should be a decent, thing. I think it's just a big map. So we just wait. That's the game with Enfusion. You just wait it out. Sometimes it crashes, and you just wait. No way. So you got an X3D. That is insane. That'd be freaking. Huh. I'd keep that in mind. If I rebuild my PC, I'll be like, okay, I'll go for a X3D. But I think if I ever rebuild my PC, I'll go for like full on. What's what's a like a 4090 top of the range stuff, so that it doesn't get old very soon. So you're looking into a way to painting layers of materials easier. So do you mean layers, material layers, like the materials that you paint um, on the terrain, or on a, what's it called, a building? There we go. Yeah, the Ryzen 7, bro. Oh, it is a freaking, that would be nasty. That'd be nasty. The 3D X, or the 3D thingy. 64 grams. Gigs of RAM. Damn. You're not gonna have any issue with that. Mr. Frank, how you doing? Long time. Uh, oh, a 61 by 61 map. Oh, damn. Now, have you started working on a 64 by 64? The 61 by 61? No, 100%, dude. I've got some decent RAM, but it's damn. Yeah, no, Jove, that is a big, massive map. I'd say check it out. Check it out first. Be careful. My personal, I would say, is just be careful. If you want to attract players, you're gonna have to optimize it very well, because in Enfusion itself, like for example, if I go in here and import heightmap, right, and I say, oh my goodness, I won't be able to import heightmap. You know, when we just went, uh, when we made the terrain, when we right clicked and said made to make terrain, Enfusion, as far as I'm aware, stops at 32 by 32. So that is, in as far as I'm aware, I may be wrong. That is the max. So maybe it might, you might have to scale back down, but check it out, see what happens. I got the, I just got the Ryzen 7 because it's I got it ages back. It was my first CPU, so I was just like, oh, it's good. It'll work well with my GPU. So that's the reason why I picked it. But yeah. Anyways, there we go. So I'm just gonna go around the island. and make some beaches. There we go. With these, just take your time, slowly but surely. There we go. There we go. Make these beaches beautiful, nice and perfect. There we go. Just double checking on you guys. Hey. Yes, we do love those beaches. It's amazing. Freaking waves, sharks, all the things a person may desire. Increase that just a little bit, like so. Underwater landscapes. Custom brushes. I haven't gotten yet to custom brushes, mister. We've just started with the creation of this map, so custom brushes will be added. Custom freaking. I don't do this, to be honest with you. This is. I just stick with round and sometimes rectangular. But paint, I do a lot of custom paint things for beaches and so on and so forth. So, but we'll get into that, and I shall show you guys how to do some. I don't think you can do underwater things, as far as I'm aware. What you can do is you can do caves, but they won't be underwater. So that is one thing that sucks. You won't be able to do underwater things like in Arma. What's it called? Freaking Arma 3. Here we go. Beautiful. Just go around. Sometimes just holding down shift, increasing the strength to about like 60. Nope. Works like a charm. There we go. Now this is the boring part, or for you guys this may be a little bit boring because there's not a lot of chatting involved in this. But I'll keep on checking up on the chat. If there's any questions needed to be answered. Now we're just going finishing. There we go. So whilst you're doing this, or whilst you're sculpting or whatever, you just start making notes of where you're going to start placing things like rocks, and start planning. I'm going to place a fishing area over here, and so on and so forth. It's just good to Why can I not move? There we go. Like a little fishing area a bit there, and a whatever. It's completely up to you. And if you don't like, let's say for example, you don't like this little area, you just sculpt it down. Like so. You just make your own little world. Okay. What is this? Voice access? No. Close. I don't want voice access. Okay. Where's the chat? What are you guys saying? Control Alt S. To view only the satellite image. Huh. Yes, you can do underwater caves, but you won't be able to, yes. Procrastinate is that is a real thing, especially when it comes to modding. Just a couple of days. Yeah. No, definitely. Okay. Increase brush size. Here we go. Now, obviously, for these, why did it go up? Come on now, brother. You're not supposed to go up. Okay. So for these deeper areas, all you can do is you can go to flatten, like so, and slap these deeper areas, like so. Okay. Now I just want to do the coast just a little bit. And here you can see, freaking this could be cool. So this could be a little fishing village. So bring this out of the water. This could be a freaking cool fishing village. Okay. There we go. The little thingy going up. Lots of rocks. Many rocks. That's the one thing I'm not looking forward to, is placing these many rocks. That's going to drive me insane. Okie dokie. Almost there. Another fishing village. Let's go. Okay. Here we go. Beautiful. Almost there. So close. I'll check the chat in a second, guys. Just give me 1 minute. And freaking another fishing village. Oh, okay. This could be nice. A little port area. So when grabbing your map and deciding on your map and so on and so forth, good idea is to go and have a look around a lot of areas that you personally like. Also around, if you, let's say for example, oh, okay, just let this, no. I shall not allow you to crash. Oh, shit. Okay, it crashed. Let's go. First crash. That is pretty cool. An elevation map created in QGIS, which also adds texture to the map. Maps, satellite textures. So, oh my goodness. Ish. Okay, I don't know. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, but pass. I'm just going to call you pass. I would say that. So, okay. You don't have a satellite map texture in there at the moment, which is okay. All you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to go and do Till's method. So Till's method is pretty cool. Till's method, satmap, armor forger. There we go. This is the one. Put this off. This is the guy that you guys want to be looking for. Okay. So, yeah, this is the one that you're going to want to look for. Till W, because he's a freaking winner. And he shows you the seamless map tool. And if you go into his thingy, on his channel, you'll see that. Oh, that's the only one. Okay. Okay, cool. That's the only one. Pardon me. I thought there was a different one. But yeah, here's the custom materials, generation. And then you end up with a custom map, satmap. So this you do at the very end of your whatchamacallit, of your map creation. Hope that helps. I'll tag it actually into the live stream real quick. Terrain dock tools method. There we go. There we go. You guys should be able to see it now in the whatchamacallit. Okay. Okay. Just let me know if it's not there. Okie dokie. So let's see what happens. There we go. Just give it a second to load. It may take a little while, just a teeny bit. Again, guys, any questions, just let me know. Send me one in the chat. Also, join the Discord. Discord is also popping off these days. We've just hit 900 people, 900 modders in there, which is freaking insane. We've got a lot of things going there, which is we've got tutorials and links. We've got work in progress maps from the community. Everybody showing off what they're doing, how they're doing it. And it's freaking amazing to see everybody posting their stuff. I mean, it's freaking amazing. We've got 3D modeling as well. There we go. This guy's asking how to put things in there. He's got his stuff in there. And then we've got a Blender section as well, for Blender announcements, Blender knowledge as well. So cool things that you might want to know in Blender. I know a lot of you Milsim guys like their clothing. So here's one for you guys. And so on and so forth. So definitely, if you're not in the Discord, get in here. Get educated with like all the knowledge in here, and we've got a lot of people that know a lot more than myself. Like some freaking OG guys in here. So get yourself in here, and there we go. So yeah, we've got the advisors and got the server owners as well. So yeah, anyways, guys, that hopefully we've got everything in. Okay, just give it a second. Let's load. A lot of damage. What's a lot of damage? Oh no. Oh, the new assets are going to be insane. Absolutely insane. Really, really looking forward to that. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, 900 people, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. A lot of modders. Um freaking just happy we've got so many in there. Okay, let's see. Let's see if this works. Okay, yeah. So, like I was saying, I did see a message pop in, but just 1 second. So in real life, right? In the morning hours and afternoon hours, if the light is shining from the back, what you want to do is you want to go to your weather editor and put it like early. Put your game to like early morning type thing. For me, it works. For my monitor, it works. So you put it like this, right? And you start building like so. That just counteracts for me, it counteracts the light being shone on the monitor. And then in the evenings, either you could continue like this, or I put it more like an afternoon type thing. Or if I want to see straight down, I would put it at like midday type thing, so that I can see what I'm placing down. But that's just a personal thing for me. Oh, how do you move? Oh, I don't think you can move objects slowly in here. Um, Hold on. Let me double check. Uh, no, you won't be able. I don't think there's a way to move it slowly unless you're moving your mouse very slowly. There's a way to snap though. If you hold down Control, you snap to like. So let's say, for example, you're making a wall, which is pretty cool. Gonna make a wall, break wall, this one. Slap that one over there. Holding down Control. Oops. Alt. And then Control. And Alt and then Control. So what I'm doing is I'm holding down Alt, left click, moving it. That means I'm duplicate that. That's like a shortcut to duplicate. And then whilst I'm moving it, I'm holding down Control, snapping it, and that snaps it perfectly, so that there are no gaps. Just so that if you didn't know that, there, now you know. There we go. Okay, so we've got this island sorted out, ready to get started with roads. So first of all, I'm gonna press V, vector, spline, snap it to terrain. I'm just gonna start at a point, and I'll continue. Just place it down like so. Like so. Adjust it to your liking. There we go. If you want to ever add a new point to a spline, what you can do is you can either hold down Alt and then hold down Alt and then you add a new spline or dot. Or if you hold down Control, you click this one, you hold down Control, that also adds a new spline or a new dot. You can also select one, select another one, and say subdivide. That does it as well. This one, subdivide. So that is pretty cool. Something cool to add to the notes. Just going to place this like so. And like so. Oh. Bam, boom, bop. Like so. Okay, let me check. Let me check on you guys. Okay, sounds good. Now what you're gonna do is we're gonna add some roads. So this looks like a dirt road. Looks like a dirt road. It's a dirt road. Slap that gravel dirt road on there. It's gonna give it its beautiful 4 minutes to process this dirt road. Oh my word. This dirt, it's a tough dirt road to process. A freaking poor thing. Poor thing. Indeed, indeed. A lot of dirt. You gotta freaking process every freaking grain of dirt. Oh man. But it's okay. It's okay. It's part of the waiting game. He's just wait it out. Eh, almost there. So close. Yet so far. Okay. So once this is finished processing, we're going to create a new layer. We're going to call it roads. And we're going to select it that it's white so that it's selected. And we're just going to start placing roads. This entire island needs to be placed full of roads. And then we're going to move on to I'd say forests. We're going to place down some forests around, create some bushlands, tree lines, so on and so forth. Place down some walls for like agricultural walls. Oh, and it's not even the right dirt road. Brother, ain't no way. There we go, that works. That's the one. Okay. Make it bend the right way. But again, remember what I said. It's your map. It's your creation. Don't let the satmap handcuff you too much, or limit you too much. That's the right word to use, not handcuff. So if ever, let's say, let me do this little thing. Oh. If ever you see this, right, for the new guys, this basically means this turn in the road is too sharp. So to fix it, either you can move this point back, right? And then click on this and then move it like so. Or what you can do is you just move this one out like so. So there's two ways of fixing the red triangles. Slap that to there. Ooh. Slap. Oh no, come on, dude. Boom, bam, 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 bam. You know what? I'm gonna make a little house down here. Because why not? It's gonna be a steep climb. So I'm gonna make it a zigzag. Zigzag up this mountain into this guy's driveway. Like so. Now I'm going to use that technique of increasing the blue line. Bring it out like so. Move it in. Like so. Now you'll see these sharp edges on the side, right? That's completely fine. All we'll do is we'll just place a few rocks there. So now at the moment, it's just rough. It's like when you're sketching something out, you're sketching it out. First, you do it rough, like freaking insanely rough. Then you do a little bit more tweaking and a little bit more tweaking. At the end of the day, you end up with a beautiful drawing. That's basically map making. You just place down roads, and even for if you're making custom assets, right, in Blender, just make the basic shape, right? Make a basic house shape, pop it into Enfusion, and just start putting it around on the map. That's called gray boxing. So start gray boxing out your map. See what you think. If you don't like it, then you didn't waste time on a model, and you didn't waste like hours upon hours on a model that ended up looking like, maybe I won't use it there, or maybe I won't use it at all. So that is something I'd advise. Gray boxing. There are some pretty cool tutorials on YouTube about gray boxing, which I'd recommend to go and have a look. Even if you go and watch Unreal Engine tutorials on level design, it just gives you that extra bit of understanding about how to make a map and a level that is intriguing and exciting and interesting, rather than just your standard ordinary levels, you know? Do that, do this. Connection, connection. So this first bit may take a while, but that's okay. Let's see. Gordo, mister, how you doing? Mr. Ethan. There we go. Okay, rough sketches, rough. Every now and then I just need to remind myself by like, don't worry, it's just a rough sketch. Not the end result. Gonna bring you down. Maybe into this valley. Or actually, this valley could be a bit of a little river. Oh yeah. Yeah, a little river running down. Turn this into a oh my goodness, I think it's an estuary. It's freaking GCSE what's it called? Geography kicking in. I think it's wrong anyways. An estuary. I don't know. There we go, just connection. So if you're making junctions, this is the best way to do it, right? Curve it into the next road, like so. Extend it a little bit and curve it into the next road so that these almost align. Yeah. And then on the other side as well. Exactly the same. So that is how you would do a little junction. Cool. This 8 like so. Bring it around. And we do have a junction right there. So if you have a point selected, something cool that you can do is you can just go up here. Instead of selecting new spline, you select new spline from selected. And just start holding down control and placing down your points. That is something pretty cool that you can do. Place it down. And yeah, so guys, this is going to be the boring bit. This is me just not speaking and placing things down. I do apologize about that. Also, if I don't see a message and respond a little bit too late on it, I do only have one monitor. So until my other one arrives, it's going to be a control tab type of game we're going to have to play. Okay, let's see. Looks good. This is a very big map. Maybe I took on a little bit too big of a challenge, but that's okay. We're going to do it anyway. Why not? Oh, dude, this could be a lighthouse. Okay. Here we go. Just a rough sketch. Slap that on there. Beautiful. Just have a look on the how it digs into the terrain. Yeah, that could be fine. That'd be fine. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, no, we haven't we haven't spoken in ages, but it's fine, man. I'm just happy you're doing well. Okay, let's connect this, do a little bit of a junction, slap this one over here, like so. Okay, there we go. Do this. So here's that little fishing village that would be pretty cool to make. Let's just see where it's. So it's got a little bit of a zigzag. Okay. Let's do this zigzag one. So I'm assuming it's coming out from there. So, boom, bam. Me, I'm going to use a little bit of creativity. I'm going to make it nice and long stretches. Okay. Okay. We'll just have a road going all the way around the back. Okay. Using that X, the orientation tool that I told you about, using that. Now, pressing X, doing that, increasing the width, like so. And don't worry too much about if you see these things. We'll just deal with that later. Bring this down. Like so. There we go. A lot of wiggles. There we go. It's pretty boring, but it's okay. Okay. There we go. Lovely. Okay. We'll just leave this like this for now. What I can do, what I will do, is I'll go to Armor Forger. I'll go to Prefabs. I'll go to Rocks, Granite. And I'll just place, just as of like a placeholder, I'll just place a cliff right here. Yeah. Right about so. There we go, as a placeholder. Now, obviously, when we press on this, when we click on this, oh my goodness, create layer. Select all these lines and put it in the road. Do that. Okay, anyways, I completely forgot to do that. Now we're going to go to the object properties of this road. We're going to increase the fall off distance to about like, yeah, this should be good. Do that. Place these ones like so. And then just do crash barriers around the sides and so on and so forth. Definitely become quite nice. Okay, now we've done that. Now there's a few more. I think I'm gonna place. Honestly, I'm thinking it's about 2 hours, 40 minutes. What I'll do is I'm gonna place a few more roads, and I'll work till 1 o'clock. Let's do this till 1 o'clock, and then it's gonna be clocking off, and then we get back onto it tomorrow. Okie dokie. There we go. Beautiful. Slap, slap, bam, bam, boom. Mm-hmm. Granite cliff. Gonna right click, layer, rocks. Granite cliff. Pop that on into the rocks. And do the junction thing where it just slides in like so. Here we go. This right here. Gonna make this a main road. No, I'm not gonna make it dashed. Gonna put it as one of these. This one should be fine. Cool. And then this one. What are you doing, man? No. There we go. And this can be like a dashed. Like so. There we go. Hmm. Damn. Placing roads is very, very time consuming. My goodness. Nah. Sleep. Sleep is for me in 13 minutes. So, Milos, I used QGIS for terrain generation. Um, so if you just go back to the start of the video, or not the video, but this live stream, you should be able to. I walk through the entire process of getting into from getting the satellite map and the height map and putting it into Enfusion. So that was covered a little bit earlier, but that's yeah, I covered the entire thing, all the steps. I also have videos about it as well if you want to go and check those ones out. Um, Okie dokie. So like these little things right here, these little farming fields. I'll start placing some farming fences once we're done with roads. We can do some farming fences and some bush lines. Like for example, down here, we'll have a little bush line going with maybe a foot trail down here. Some bush lines. Yeah, that could be pretty insane. Pretty nice. There we go. Does I? Perfect. Hmm. Almost perfect. No, come on, dude. Oh my word. Yeah. It's okay. It'll do for now. Okay, we got the main road. It's almost finished. Just gonna have it stretched down to this little what's it called? Estuary thing. Now, I'd say one thing to remember when it comes to when it comes to roads and stuff like that, um, is to actually make it drivable. So keep in mind that players are going to have to drive on these roads, and if you make them like very difficult, not difficult, but like it has to curve nicely and almost evenly in a way that a player actually can drive on there without having to break the vehicle. Okay. I think this little thing, I'll just move it down to here. So we'll have a little bridge. Actually, we can build ourselves a custom bridge. Place down a placeholder bridge, and build a custom bridge in Blender. Okay. This would be a gravel road. There we go. Control all day, say. Control all days. Beautiful. Detailed texture. Ha! Man's genius. Look at you. I appreciate you, Mr. Jove. Legendary. Control Alt S. There we go. Almost there. Bam. We gotta go to... No. I know why you crashed. Oh. Damn. Appreciate it. Awesome. Okay. It crashed. I think this is a sign. This is a sign that we should take a break. 100%. Okay. Let's see here. Fantastic. Okay. So that will conclude the first part of the map making process. I'll be back tomorrow, and we will continue placing down roads, getting into some textures, painting some textures, because I haven't gotten to add the textures yet to be able to paint them. So we'll cover that tomorrow. Expect another long session, about 3 hours or so. But yeah, I am really looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow for the second part. And yeah, if you guys would like to support me in any other way, I do Blender. Go and check out my Patreon. I do Blender related things over there, and I'll be linking it in the description if you want to go and check it out. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you, and have an absolutely fantastic evening. Okay, bye-bye.